lived.
I start recording. We start talking about rad.
I was just going to ask if you were recording it.
Yeah.
That answered the question.
Okay, I think it's 12:04 now, and anyone who gets on, I can just kind of let them in. But hi, guys. I wish I could see all of your faces in one. I can only see like 6 people across my screen, but I see everyone's names to the right, and I love having all of you here. It's so good. So everyone here is umbrellaed Outback or under the Outback community. So even though maybe I personally didn't give you the Zoom code, whether Eden did or Whitley or Kelsey or Caitlin, like whoever gave you the Zoom code is within the Outback community, and they are establishing their own communities right now. So when you hear me say the Outback community, that means Eden's team too, and Tylo's and Peyton's and Logan's and so many women that are here. So just keep that in mind, okay? And we're going to be going over some great details about what it actually takes to build an essential oil business. And for all of my builders that are on, I know that I'm kind of running this show right now, but for all of you to like interrupt me, that is completely welcome. Put your 2 cents in. I want all of the input as humanly possible. And feel free to ask questions either live or you can do it in the chats. Peyton, I feel like you're always like our chat girl. Do you mind doing the chats for us?
Yes, I can totally do that.
Okay, awesome. And then interrupt me if people have like a pressing question or whatever. Okay, Scarlett's getting on to right now. Okay, so Tylo, can I just like pick on you for a second?
Yes, absolutely.
So Tylo is really actually one of our newest builders within the Outback community. She's been using essential oils for a long time. And she's someone that just came on maybe a couple months ago. I guess it's probably like 5 or 6 months ago. Maybe it's not just a couple months. But Tylo came into this with 0 sales experience, right? You have never been a salesperson before. Have you ever been part of an MLM before?
Never.
Okay.
I've never done anything like this.
Okay, that is the picture I wanted to paint. So from your personal experience, being a stay-at-home mom that has 2 kids, you don't know what the heck you're doing. You guys, she didn't even know how to make a reel. Like, in our Voxer group, she'd be like, where's the reel button? And we'd be like, type right. And she didn't even know how to make a reel. Okay. So for just maybe like 45 seconds, Tylo, will you just give your experience with building a business within the Outback community? And this is not scripted. I did not prep her for this.
Well, it's crazy because like I was a person who was never even on my phone. And like obviously like I posted a couple of times. I've been using essential oils for 6 years now. And I never had help. I didn't have a Sydney. I didn't have anybody. I was learning everything out of the 4th edition of the Essential Basics. Like I was teaching myself. And I had 2 people ask me like, hey, how do I get those? What are those? What? And that was like, it fueled this fire within me. And it's been so much fun. And it's really like a personal development with an income journey is how to like sum it up in the most basic way. You really do. You learn all of these things. You get out of your comfort zone. You are communicating with so many people. You're teaching people. You're helping people. It's beautiful. And I've had so much fun. And this is like something I knew what I do. I was an assistant, like, and a mom. Like this is completely different from what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's I feel like so many of us are in that space. I know so many people are on here that are like, I've never sold anything. I have no experience with MLMs. I haven't done anything. Like why am I even here? But I know that I love the oils, or I love the person that's helping me with the oils. So I want to give a little bit of history with doTERRA for just a minute, my history with doTERRA. So I need to make sure that I'm like muting everybody like when they come on. So it might take me a second to figure this out. Okay. So I actually had a full ride scholarship to a local college. I was like gonna go get my mental health degree like my mom. I was gonna go be like a master in psychology. And then all of a sudden I got this opportunity to start selling essential oils. And for some reason, I thought that was a better thing than going and getting a college degree. And anyone who remembers 2013 and 2014, it was like the MLM year of every MLM year. All you saw on social media was like pyramid schemes and needing to be one of 5 women's girls that like change your life, and you're gonna start making $100,000 a month, and you're also gonna get like a free Cadillac and a free Logan, please keep laughing because you get it, okay? You get it. And I do not want to, like, this is not to offend anybody, all right? I love It Works and I love lip scents, and I love, like, anyone who sells lip scents, actually come sell to me because I'll buy your product. I totally will. But that was like the time to do that, especially everyone who was like 18 to 22, that you got like sucked into that. So that's what I like went and did with doTERRA. And the world has changed so much with social selling, and everyone here can like be so grateful for that. But it was so hard not understanding that realm and not understanding what I was doing, and no one knew what they were doing. Like no one did. And so I did so many don'ts. And my sweet girls, Peyton, Tylo, Eden, Kel, like all of you who I talk to every single day, either personally or in our Voxer, I will straight up tell you, I did so many things that none of you have to do. I hunted people down. I cold messaged every single person I could cold message. My goal every day was to cold message 100 people to come and join my team. Like, it's so cringe, you guys. I want to crawl into a hole, but I think it's so important that we admit to those hard mistakes. And I even like burned a lot of relationships. I offended a lot of people. I was offended many times. Like, there were so many innocent bystanders and family members and friends that I just want to message them and be like, can I say hi to you in Walmart if we run into each other? Because I want to say I'm sorry for the things that I did, like, and the things that I said. But I really believe that God has a really funny way of teaching me what not to do so that I can go and help other women know what to do. And since this time, about the last 2 years, I have learned so many beautiful things to do. 2 years ago, maybe it was like 2.5, 3 years ago, actually, I had this epiphany moment of like, I can't build my business this way. I'm not going anywhere. Ask me how much I rank advanced in those years that I hunted people down. I think I rank advanced one time. I think my check was $60 every month because I was cold messaging people and hunting people down. Versus the last 2.5, 3 years, I have grown so much more in this business, but also personally, like Tylo said, because I have created a safe space for women.
Yeah.
I have been there for my beautiful relationships outside of oils. Like, take oils out of it, I have just focused on building relationships with people. I have made beautiful friendships. I try not to sell even when the selling opportunity presents itself, which sounds so counterintuitive, and we'll get into that more. But what I'm trying to tell you here today is we have learned within the Outback community, by trial and error, by me, what to do and what not to do. And Peyton, I'm totally going to call on you right now because we've had this talk many times. How many times have I asked you to cold message someone?
Never, ever.
That's been in our training.
Yeah, never. That has never been your advice. It's always been to create relationships first.
Yep. Yeah. I love Sawyer in the background. He needs to be our mascot. Hi, Sawyer. And that is our purpose. So I want to go like more into the MLMs because that's what doTERRA is. Like, you sell essential oils. I know that we all really shy away from that word. Like, I sell. But like, the truth of the matter is, yeah, you sell essential oils. That's what you're doing. You're sharing essential oils with other people on social media, with friends, with families, everything. So I want to tell you this story. Back in 2014, I was like nice and pregnant with my son. I was 19 years old, like fresh, just entering life in a really harsh way. And I get this call from a girl that I knew in high school. And I was like, oh my gosh, Cassidy's calling me. Like, I love her so much. We haven't talked for like 2 years, but I'm so excited to talk to her. Okay, I'll answer the phone. And the first words out of her mouth were, "Hey, I have someone that wants to talk to you. We have not seen each other for 2 years." Okay. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And her upline gets on the phone. And her upline, this is what her upline said to me, first words. "Hi, Sydney. What would an extra $2,000 do for you and your family?" And I was like, well, we're freaking dirt ass poor right now. So it probably changed. I'd be a millionaire if I added to extra $2,000 laying at my fingertips because I'm pregnant and living in my grandparents' basement with my husband's baby. And so I was like, oh yeah, like it would be good. Like, no, hi, Sydney. Like, how are, there was nothing. Okay. So they conned me into meeting 45 minutes away the following Tuesday, and they want to take me out to lunch. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And me and my husband can go. And the entire hour and a half of this lunch, they're talking to me about how I can get a free Jeep. And I don't even like Jeeps. I'm like, okay, thanks. And they're going on and on about how I can make like tier 2, which I'll be making $30,000 a month. And I sat there just really uninterested. I'm not a huge money driven person. If someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I'll give you $9 million for your kidney, I would say, I want my kidney. I don't want your $9 million. Like, I'm not a money driven person. So for that whole time, I felt so used and abused. And we were in this restaurant, you guys, and like, they didn't order food. It was like the most awkward thing. I thought I was like kind of getting together with like an old friend that she was like talked about, but it was so awkward. And so that was one of the first experiences at 19 years old that I had felt so used. And like I was this pawn in their life, money. And so we here in the Outback community are heavily anti-pyramid scheme. And I hate using the word anti-anything because that has such a negative connotation to it. But I love giving that visual in someone's mind of we are an MLM and yes, we social sell, but you will never hear me talk about a free Cadillac. doTERRA doesn't even offer a free Cadillac. They offer financial freedom by getting your ducks in order financially. And so our way of sharing with people and what makes the Outback community so different is we share intuitively and in alignment with what we do. If you really hate digestin, the digestin essential oil, please don't talk about it. Even though digestin is one of the main oils in all the enrollment kits, please don't talk about it if you royally hate it, okay? If you don't want to talk about non-toxic products, but I am, and all of the other women in our community are, but you don't want to, please don't. Maybe your passion and purpose is talking to the overwhelmed mom who has constant anxiety and panic attacks. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what you want to talk about. And so guess what? We're here as the Outback community. We're here to teach you how to do that. Whether that's me, or whether that's Whitley who invited you, whether that's Tylo or Logan, whoever invited you to do that, them and me, we will help you understand the verbiage to use on Instagram, the verbiage not to use on Instagram, and we will help you make reels like we helped Tylo understand how to make reels.
Hey, I think I've done like an okay job now. Like,
you are the real queen. Are you kidding me? I'm like, Tylo, what reel should I make today? I don't know. And she gives me ideas now. And so how we do that, how we build a successful business here within the Outback community. And Eden, who's like one of the most amazing leaders on the Outback team, she uses verbiage, and I've totally stole this from her. Share what you already do. Maybe, and we'll get into this in just a minute, maybe you don't know what you already do, and we'll get into that in a second. But if you already roll On Guard on your kids' feet at night, it's okay to pick up your phone once a week and share that on Instagram and share with other mothers how their kids don't have to be sick 24/7 from daycare. You can prevent that. So sharing what you already do, that's like the expertise of the Outback community is sharing what we already do. And we help you understand how to do that. We could go into like a full 4-hour training on sharing what you already do, but this is kind of the bullet points. And sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to.
Hey, Sid, can I
Yeah.
chime in here for 1 minute?
Absolutely.
This is Sydney's mom, Heidi, and I just want to say I think I've been involved with doTERRA since pretty much the inception. I joined about maybe 6 months after doTERRA started, and I have really never had any success trying to wrangle people. Here's my focus. My number one focus is I always focus on what that person needs, not what I need that person to do. And it has actually created a really beautiful experience with almost everyone that I've talked to. So I'll give you an example really fast. This morning, I had my next door neighbor come over. She told me that she has digestive issues. And I introduced her to the aroma touch technique and took her downstairs and gave her an aroma touch. And she just says, do I pay you? What do you want for this? I just said, Christina, I'm just wanting to help you understand what you might be able to do naturally to help yourself with your digestive issues. She's enrolled, she's all that stuff. She's not wanting to sell essential oils, which is just fine. I started using essential oils because I had MS and I needed a remedy to help me cope with what was happening with my body. And it took me even a couple years, ladies, to decide that I needed to share this with people. So when I even hear the word selling, I just go, that's not what I do. I share with people, helping them with their goals and their issues. And then suddenly the weird ickiness goes completely away and you're focused on beautiful people like Christina this morning. And she just gave me a hug. She's made me cookies. Thank you so much for caring about me. And in this world, you guys, don't we all need a friend? And that's how it's done. And that's the culture of doTERRA. Sydney's learned well from our administrative team. The culture of doTERRA is sharing and caring for people. Let's heal the world. That's what our new motto is. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Which totally breeds a more abundant energy instead of a space of lack. Because a lot of multi-level marketing, network marketing, and social selling, like even if you're an affiliate with someone on Instagram and you're selling their stuff, it comes from a place of lack. Oh, I got to get more sales. Oh, I only enrolled one person this week. Oh, I need more. Or, they expressed interest in essential oils 6 months ago, and I'm going to hunt them down and make them buy a kit. That is a huge space of lack. And that is what your energy is going to breed. I know this sounds super hippie and woo-woo, but that's the energy the universe is going to return to you. And so when you breed an abundant energy full of giving and life and love, that is what the universe, by the universal law, is going to exchange back to you. Mm-hmm. And so that's a huge thing that we try to focus on in the Outback community as well. But I want to go into social selling, because when you want to start sharing essential oils and selling essential oils, and you find a community that you love and that resonates with you, a huge question is, well, how do I get started? What do I do? How do I even talk about it? How do I make a reel? So number one is become educated. Yeah. Even if it's just on one thing. Maybe you only know how to use peppermint, and the only way you know how to use it is on your temples and forehead from a headache that Eden showed you how to do on Instagram, but now you're here. If that's the only thing you know how to do, you know a lot more than someone who doesn't know how to do that. Okay, so you don't want to wait until you're an expert, because even me, after 8 years of doing this, I'm still not the expert. My team shows me and teaches me so much. If you don't follow Kelsey McNinch on Instagram and learn something from her every day, you're probably not following her, because she's an absolute goddess at understanding the oils. And she just started using oils last year. So becoming educated is such a, knowledge is power. So become educated on just one thing. Number 2 is social selling. I know this is such a buzzword, but it's my favorite. I want to get it tattooed under my eyeballs, like Coach Malone. Consistency, consistency. I want it to be on my body and everyone see it. because consistency is what will move you forward. But understand this with consistency too. You will learn to trust yourself. And you will develop a relationship with yourself, which I know sounds kind of silly, that you can trust. Every single day, I know, because I have shown myself and my team, I will show up for you. But not only I'll show up for you, I will give my enrollments to you. The people who I enroll, I don't keep them for myself. They go under Peyton and Tylo and Eden and Breege and everyone else that's on here. So I have stuck consistently for years. Even if you're consistent for 1 week or 2 days or 6 months, that is the most important thing. And I want, Eden, you don't even know that I'm going to call on you right now, so that's fun. But would you mind sharing your experience with consistency, and especially building a doTERRA business, and what you've seen your leaders in your team do with consistency?
Totally. Okay, well, I've like wanted to interject like a million times, but I haven't. So I just want to share something real quick, is that we are all so lucky to learn from Sydney. Like,
You're so sweet.
I could get emotional, but I'm not. She has built something that's insane, like absolutely incredible, that leaders from doTERRA, like the people at the top of doTERRA, have reached out and said, what are you doing, Sydney? Because you are creating a community that is unlike anything that's ever been created in doTERRA. You're making waves. And the fact that she's made the mistakes and had to learn and go through the grind, and that none of us have to go through that because she's already done that. And she knows what not to do and what works. And now we get to benefit from that. And my structure of my business is almost perfect, you guys. It's almost perfect. And it's all because of her. Like,
You're
she
giving
goes,
so much credit right now. Like,
well, I'm serious.
so much work, you guys. Like, Eden did the work.
No, I'm serious. doTERRA has been around for so long, and there's never been a community like the one that Sydney's created. And the people in this Zoom and even in our community that weren't able to be here are so loving, and it's 100% the relationship first, and you feel it. You feel it. And it's so special. That was like my interjection that I wanted to say, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Hold on 1 second. I'll be out in one second. My kids of course all come in at this moment. Hey, will you go?
I know.
It's dead.
That's that part.
I love you can build with your kids.
What? No, take it off. Okay, what did you ask me to share though?
Consistency, like your experience with consistency, and even like your builders, like the people within your community, and what you've seen with consistency and how it's moved your business forward.
Absolutely. Okay, so I signed up as a wellness advocate probably 2 years ago. I wasn't planning on doing anything with it. I'm just like, like if anyone wants it, then I can send them the link. My little girl's gonna come in here and cry.
I love it.
Ace, will you put that back for her, please? Okay, you put it back. You put it back. So I shared maybe once or twice. And then in August, this just hasn't even been a year. That's when I decided, oh no, I want to do the business. Guys, I'm so sorry.
I love it. I love it. Do you
want someone else for just 1 second?
Yeah, I'm gonna call someone else. Okay, Whitley, I'm totally gonna call on you. Are you ready, girlfriend? I hope you have kids screaming in the background too.
I got my girl right here, but I don't think she'll scream.
No, you're good. So yeah, just share with us, because you are probably one of the most consistent people I have ever seen in my life. Do you even notice that you're consistent? Like, would you consider yourself a consistent person?
I have it in my mind that I should be consistent all the time, but there are times I slack and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to be more consistent. So, I don't know if I would say I am. I try to be though.
So Whitley is one of our top enrollers. She's always enrolling a lot of people. She's always sharing with a lot of people. And you now are starting to like teach your own classes. So I just love that you like take that on. And I don't even know that like you're such a humble and like sweet and kind person that I would never see you like, hey guys, like I'm super consistent. Like, look at how consistent I am. But you totally are. And so I love that you take that on. It's so fun to watch.
I think a big thing that has helped me is like So how we share a lot of it is on Instagram, right? And social media. And so early on, I was talking to Eden and I'm like trying to figure out how am I going to share this? How can I do it naturally? And like how you said, share what you already do. And sometimes I think we feel like it's repetitive, like, oh, I already shared that once, I'm not going to share it again. No, share it again, because someone needs to see it like 7 times before they do anything about it, right? So I think about the other Instagram like influencers or people that I follow, and why do I follow them? I like their content, I like who they are as a person, and they're consistent, right? Like there's some people, there's this girl, Mallory Nicholas, you guys follow her, My Monarch House. Anyway, she's beautiful. And she has like, she's not my taste of style of house. Like she lives in Knoxville. There's like not much of a commonality between her and I, but I like who she is. And I've like, feel like I've developed this relationship with her and I feel like I could call her my friend. But a big thing is she's very vulnerable and she shares a lot about her personal life. And I really love that. And I resonate with that a lot. So on my Instagram, if you guys follow me, I try really hard to be vulnerable and to share like real parts. And I know that on Instagram, it's kind of scary to do that because you want to show like that your house is always clean and that your kids are well behaved. But we all know that that's not a reality. And so when you can show a little bit of that realness with people, I think they really resonate with it. And I get messages all the time of people like thanking me for doing that. And in doing so, people are more vulnerable and like compassionate. And those are the people I want to attract, right? So I'm like finding and refining my circle. And I do that through just trying to have like that balance of consistency, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at it. And we're all just trying to figure out, you know, what works and what doesn't work.
You're absolutely perfect to me. Actually, I tell Sam all the time, he'll be like, who are you watching? He'll look over, he's like, Whitley. I'm like, I think I've watched this story 400 times. You're just so perfect to me. And I love watching you.
You're so
But
nice.
that kind of goes along with, like, oh, sorry, my mind is going like 400 miles an hour. Has anyone ever seen the image of doubling a penny a day? I know Whitley and Tylo and Peyton and Eden, we were in the lecture at leadership about this. Like, raise your hand. I mean, has any of you? Okay, Tessie has, Randy has. Okay, I'm gonna go over this with you for just a second. So consistency. When you double a penny a day, I think it's for 30 days, and I'll show you guys a graphic. You wouldn't think that it's that much money, but it ends up being, I'll show you guys it. Day 30 is $5 million if you double 1 penny every single day. And you can see day 1 through 7 is like 64 cents. Day 8 through 10 is like $5. And this is just such a great graphic to look and see what consistency actually lines up to be. I love the saying that it's just as easy not to do it as it is to do it. And that is the exact thing that happens with social selling. Because look at like day 14. And this is what a presidential diamond who makes like $100,000 a month, not a year, a month. This is what he said. He said, look at day 14, $81. This is where people usually stop. Let's put this into weeks, like a bit more of a perspective of what it actually would be like selling essential oils, okay? Maybe week 14, after like 4 months of sharing on social media, I bet at week 14, you'd probably be making about 80 bucks. And your husband probably will be making comments like, you only need $80. You work so hard. That's nothing. That's nothing. But look at what happens the next week or the next day on this, but the next week or the next month, it doubles. And the next time it doubles and it doubles. And I am here to tell you these larger numbers are so freaking real. They're so real. And the reason that they're real for me, and the reason that they're so real for so many of you on here, is because we have stayed consistent. It took me 5 years to get to where I am right now. I honestly probably should have quit. But the stubborn Olsen side of me that comes out through my mom and dad's side, it decided to stick with me. Thank the good Lord. I praise Jesus every day for that. But it is because we're consistent. And so I would love for you to just think in your mind right here of this graphic. And if you decide that this aligns with you, that sharing the gift of plant medicine is what kind of fills your cup and fills your soul, I want you to make a commitment to yourself that you are consistent. And you want to know what? We're not all perfect. We really aren't all perfect. But when you join the Outback community, whether it's with Whitley or Eden, whoever invited you here, I don't want to like toot our own horn, but we show you how to be consistent. We hold your hand and we get into the trenches with you, and we teach classes for you. So you don't even have to teach classes until you're comfortable. We share our enrollments with you so that you don't have to push a boulder up by yourself. And so consistency is just something that I want all of us to like really hit home on. I'm gonna stop sharing this now so I can see all your faces. Okay, let's go over to like Instagram talk, even though we've talked about it already. Some people are a little hesitant to sharing on social media, and rightly so. It is really scary to swipe right on your phone and to talk to your phone. Like, Tyler, was it just the most cringe thing ever when you would be like, hey guys, what's up?
Oh yeah. Well, and it's like, I feel like once you get into a rhythm with things, you're kind of like, hey, just wanted to hop on really quick. Like you like kind of get all high pitchy, your voice gets shaky. You're like, okay, that was crap. And so you like don't want to do it anymore. And you're like, let me start over. But it does. It takes a minute to kind of how Sydney was saying earlier, you build a relationship with yourself and you start trusting yourself in that consistency. So you start trusting yourself that no matter how I'm saying it, I'm saying it and I'm sharing a golden nugget. And if it only helps one person this day and one person that day, you're still sharing that. You're still educating someone. But it's very like vulnerable to be out there and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to talk about what I just put on my kid's feet now. Like it is kind of crazy. But once you've done it, you just do it.
And the only thing, this is not what any of you are going to want to hear. And that's why I said these are the dirty details. Okay, we're not sugarcoating anything. The only way you will get better is by doing it. Like on my memories on my iPhone, it'll come up like an old Instagram story I did like 7 years ago because I used to save a bunch of them to my phone. And I'll watch them and I'm like, delete, delete, delete. I do not want this anywhere near my face. I don't want to watch this. Like, I cannot relive these moments because it was just like so cringe. I'm going to post one on Instagram just so you all can go see it and like laugh with me. But the only way I got better at those is by doing them, truly. And here's the deal. I have so much to say about this. So I'm going to like try and condense my thoughts here. When you start sharing on social media, let's say that you don't really share that much. Your account might be private, it might be public, but you might share like once a week something, or you're really not on Instagram that much. When you start sharing, this is going to sound so savage and so mean. People, your friends, family, acquaintances, cousins, brothers, sisters, they will think it's a phase. That's what it is. We live in a multi-level marketing world. We live in a social selling world, and they will actually think, oh, this is a phase, and they'll swipe by. A lot of your friends and family will actually come out of the woodworks and say, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to use oils forever. Can I please grab some? What's your favorite? You know, so you're going to have both, which is good. You want both. You want a learning experience and you want to win. You want both, okay? But when you pair the consistency with that, at week 14, guess what they say? I think this is the first time she's talked about the home essentials. It's not, you've been sharing about it for 14 weeks. Okay, this is not the first time you've talked about it. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna click on that link, 250. Okay, I just got my taxes back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. And then you'll all of a sudden get an enrollment email and you'll be like, you'll be saying cuss words in your head like, what just happened? I didn't like, it's crazy. Tylo last month at like 11:59 on the last day of the month, she was trying to hit a new rank and she enrolled 2 new people and she was like, I don't know who they are. And I was like, bitch, it's because you're consistent. Like, you're consistent. And so I want to just put that out there of the consistency and sharing on social media. And it's scary. Like you feel so awkward, but you also get to feel so proud of yourself. And us here at the Outback Community, we help generate ideas for you to share. We help you say, or we help you do like, oh, maybe like steer clear from like using those few trigger words. Maybe try using these. In our Voxer builder group, how many times do we share real ideas? Like
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And so you don't even have to come up with your own ideas until you've like dipped your feet in the sand a little bit. And so that's kind of what I want to share on Instagram. Eden, like, you know, I'm going to call on you about Instagram. Like she has like 60,000 followers. Like, of course I'm going to call on her. Please give us like your knowledge and golden nuggets about Instagram.
Okay, well, what I was going to say, sorry, my children, like I said, we're in limbo. So that's just how it is right now. Well, what I was going to say actually has to do with that, with the consistency and with Instagram. So I didn't start the business, like truly doing it until August of last year. So it hasn't even been a year. And in the year prior that I had been a wellness advocate, I'd shared maybe a couple times, maybe 5, like in the whole year. And when I was logging on with Sydney onto my back office, I was in my head thinking like, oh, I have like a decent following on Instagram. Like, I bet I probably have like a couple hundred people, like, you know, I log on and I was like, oh, like humble pie. I had not one enrollment, not one. And I remember looking at Sydney being like, I'm pathetic. Like what? I don't have any enrollments. It was so good for me because I thought, oh, I've shared a couple times, maybe 5 in the last year. I'm going to have, you know, people that decide to do that. It wasn't until I decided to be consistent, share something every single day, that people started trusting me and people started going, oh, you're serious about it. It isn't a phase. When you are consistent, people believe you, because on Instagram, how many people are paid to say things? How many people make money because you use their links? I'm in that world. That's 100% what people do. This is a social selling age. That's what people do for work now. So there are the trust issues with people that are watching your stories, whether it is family or a stranger on the internet. We have trust issues because they don't know, are you being paid to say that? So when you are consistent on social media, people believe you. They don't think it's a phase. They don't think you're just posting to make, you know, a couple dollars off of it. They see you using the product and they go, oh, you know, she actually uses that. Oh, she actually uses that for her kids. Oh, that actually works. And it takes, what do you say, Sydney? Like how many times until someone actually makes the connection of like wanting to try it or ask a question about it? How many times is it?
I read a study that it was like 12 times before someone even like notices that you posted something. And I put it to the test. I follow like this yogi I have been following for legitimately 5 years. And she's been pushing this app that she created. And it took me, I counted, it took me 12 times before I even swiped up on it.
Yeah.
And I follow her. I love her. Like she doesn't offend me at all. And I was like, that is so true. And it was 99 cents. 99 cents.
Yeah. So it's, the consistency is 100%. I tell everyone, if you're consistent, you'll be successful. That's just what it is. The difference between someone that thrives in this business and doesn't is that this person was consistent, even through the period of not getting enrollments. Oh, I'm not getting any enrollments. Oh, no one's using my link. If you are consistent, you will be successful with it. And like, I'm proof of that, thinking that, yeah, I have this following, I'm going to get sales, and I didn't get any. Well, the second I was consistent, I did. And now I do. I have a thriving business, which I love so much. And I love this community and I love what I've created, but it's only because of my consistency. That's a hard word to say over and over again.
Yeah.
I will say it can be hard, not wanting to feel like you're annoying. And my rule of thumb, because I do talk a little bit more than just essential oils. I talk about a lot of different things. And like Sydney said, you're going to find what resonates with you and what lights you up and gets you excited. And so I wanted to stay true to that. And yeah, essential oils are a huge part of that, but it wasn't everything for me. So my rule of thumb is that in my 10 story frames that I have for that day, at least one of them had something to do with doTERRA or essential oils, just one. So maybe I shared my kids, we went on a walk, we went down the slide, and then I shared about like doing homeschool. And then I showed myself filling up my diffuser. And then I showed myself cooking in the kitchen. I just had one story. So that's been my rule of thumb. And it's grown from there because I even told Sydney at the beginning of this, I'm not going to have an essential oil page. Like I'm not, that's not going to be my thing. Like we can add it and it can be like a little bit, but now what has it become? Because I loved it so much. And the reward has been incredible is that I have an essential oil Instagram page now.
Okay, I have to touch on this though. She's not kidding when she said that to me. Like back in August, she was like, I'm not good. Like it can't just be oil, Sydney. And I was like,
Yeah.
so right. Like I agreed with her. Like it's even though mine's a lot like just oils, I was like, yeah, you're totally right. It doesn't have to be. Like she's very right. Legitimately, she FaceTimes me from Jamaica while she like earned this crazy trip because she's been consistent as frick. She FaceTimes me from Jamaica in February. She's like, I have to be the oil expert. And I'm like, I love you so much right now. Like full 180 from like 6 months prior. And it was just like, it was another testament to me of like, when you're sharing something that completely aligns with you and you're not hunting people down and you are being consistent and you are not the it works girl that needs 5 new women to change their life. Even though I love those women and you can come call upon me, I will support any small business. I was just like that breeds an abundant energy and it makes you want to share even more. Like you can't stop sharing. Even my brother, he's like this big bearded trucker who like says the F word a lot. He looks at me all the time and he's like, Sydney, you are so extra. And he speaks so much truth. We love Chuck in our house because he'll tell you if you're ugly or not. He's just like, you just talk so much on your Instagram. Like, I just have to tap through it. And I'm like, I've got a lot to say. Like, what, you want me to stop talking? I'm not going to stop talking. Okay. So I don't know where I was going with that. There was something to come full circle, but that's okay. It's gone now.
Can I add something, Sid?
Yes, of course.
So I feel like with being consistent and just this business in general, it is a lot like anything else in the world, but you don't think about it because it's an MLM, it's a this or that. But really 100% what you put in is what you're going to get out. And that's that right there. If you show up on Instagram, you're going to get people asking questions. If you don't, you're not, because they know what you're doing, or it's a phase, or it's a this or that. But even just, one story a day, like Eden said, or like 100 stories, like Sydney said, because once you find that love in it and you're loving and people are asking questions and they're wondering what you're doing and how you're doing it, you're like, well, I'm going to show me filling up my diffuser and this is what's in my veggie capsule and this is what I'm putting on my kids. Like you want to share everything because it's like a love. It lights your soul on fire to be showing people, whether they care or not, whether they're swiping through, there is a handful of people who are consistently watching it and they're absorbing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Which that just like gives them so much oil exposure and like plant medicine exposure. And so there's so many excuses that all of us put on ourselves and we completely strike ourselves out of our own game. 100% we do. And so a huge excuse that I hear so many women make at the beginning, or they'll make 12 weeks later when they're only at that $80 penny mark, is I just need to take a step back. Like it's too crazy right now. I'm like, yeah, it's 2022. Like you want to be Buddha? Like you can't have both, you know? And another excuse is I don't know enough about the oils. Here's what you can do. Expose yourself to as much knowledge as humanly possible. Guess what the Outback community has? We have weekly team huddles that are 15 minutes long. They're usually like 22 minutes long and go like 7 minutes over every single time. I don't know why that number is like 7. And we go over some oils and some business training for 15 minutes on Tuesday. We have a monthly, but we're hoping to bump it up to 2 times a month, a monthly hour education here on Zoom where you don't even have to teach it. you can come and learn. Not only can you come and learn, you can invite others and market it as your own on Instagram and have other people come learn while me and another person teaches it. You don't have to do anything. Maybe one day you'll help us and contribute and maybe teach one yourself once every 12 months. Expose yourself to as much knowledge as humanly possible. I have some random resources for you too. The Elements of Emotions book, everyone knows that who has been my friend for longer than 6 months. Elements of Emotion, it's literally like a book that teaches you the spiritual benefits of essential oils. You can download the Essential Life app, which is like a doctor in your pocket for essential oils. It's $4 a year. Eden, instead of scrolling Instagram at night, she looks up random oils to learn about that she might not know what to do with. Maybe she has cilantro sitting in her medicine cabinet in her kitchen and she's like, I don't know what to do with cilantro. So I'm gonna look for 7 minutes on my app about cilantro. Go look on doTERRA's YouTube channel. They have 15-second videos, 5-minute videos. You learn how they harvest vetiver from Haiti and have built that economy back up just by sourcing vetiver from them. Just expose yourself to so much knowledge. And my motto, I'm a little savage sometimes, I probably need to be nicer. If you don't have experience, get some. We all have the same amount of time in our day. If you're not enrolling people, come to us and your leaders and ask what you need to do to pivot. Because we are here to get in the trenches with you and to do the dirty work with you that no one else wants to do. We're here to educate you and to give you experience and opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to learn and grow with plant medicine and essential oils. And the biggest mistake you can make is waiting until you have enough experience. Because you'll never have it. You'll never have enough experience. Ever, ever, ever. In fact, this is such a truth in my mind. I'm actually the least experienced with the oils within my community. I learned so much more from my team than they learned from me. And I know they all might say, oh, no, that's not true. It's totally true. They're amazing. Okay, we're almost out of time. So I want to hurry and wrap this up. I want to go over the hard facts and the things that we actually give you. So we've gone over how we support you. We've gone over consistency and everything, but I want you to understand what we give you as part of the Outback community. So, but first, before I do that, Brittany, I know you're changing a diaper. Don't hate me.
I'm not.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Brittany is my assistant, and I cried to Sam this morning while we were driving in his truck of how much I love this woman. Brittany actually is not part of the Outback community. She's part of a different community. Isn't that I think that's so crazy. Brittany literally is the backbone of Outback Sheriffs. She is the backbone of us. No, you are. And so Brittany, you said that I could. Can you just give the difference between a community that isn't as hands-on and what you see you and I working to create for these women individually?
Yes. So you're gonna hear the baby. I apologize.
I love it.
He's learning how to crawl, guys. Yeah. So I've said to Cindy multiple times, the team that I am on was on. So I'm not actively building, and 100% that is me. However, the Outback community is unreal. And I can say that because I have seen my upline on another team is a diamond. She's, but the way that team kind of trickles out and conducts themselves is total opposite of the Outback community in the best way possible. That, a lot of other teams, specifically that team, they tell you how to run your business. If you're not doing it like they are, you're not successful, which I think, Sydney, the way that you do things, the way that you empower people is incredible. You don't say, I want you to be successful so that I'm successful. And that's, I think, scares a lot of people when they try to get into a business like this, because they don't know if their team is going to be like that. So yeah, the difference is, it's night and day. And we have talked a lot, Cindy, about what we can do for your team and, how you want to conduct it, because I think that's like it's important. Like, yes, consistency is key, and you need all of those traits, but you also need a team that's going to support you in the highs and the lows. And I think you guys do that. And I'm unbiased because I'm not on your team. Like, I'm not benefiting from your team at all. So
exactly. Which kind of the things that we really give to you on like a natural level, it's a lot of teams when, you know, when someone enrolls, like let's say that I go sign up my Aunt Sally and she purchases the Aroma Essentials collection. I'm going to gift that person and place that person underneath someone who's showing up. So when someone shows up consistently and they're showing me as their leader, that I'm not going to like throw away my hard work on them because they're going to quit in 3 months if it gets a little too hard. I'm going to sow those enrollments into everyone I can get my hands on. If you're showing up, my enrollments are going underneath you. If you're showing up, I will be on your calls with you after they get their essential oils, and you will watch me go over their oils with them until you feel completely comfortable doing it on your own, until you can wake up at 3 a.m. from a bad dream and say, okay, I can go over your oils with you. And so that's a huge thing, is the support that you get. We have incredible guides. Like Eden's creative eye, no wonder she's an influencer. Like I look at her and I'm like, you were meant for this. Like you were built for this. Even like she created a Let's Roll roller bottle guide that everyone else has to pay for, and it is exclusive to our community. And guess what? She shares it with people who are not even under her. Tylo is not under Peyton. Tylo is not under Eden, but does Eden share her work with her? Like what? That never happens in other communities. The Let's Roll roller bottle guide goes over how to diffuse, how to make a roller bottle, what oils do what. And no other community has that. We have a guide to go over your oils. So whether you got the Home Essentials kit or the Aroma Essentials collection, we have a guide so that you know how to use every single one and that none go to waste. We do one-on-one training with you, which maybe I shouldn't say this publicly, that spreads me very, very thin. I will never not do that with people though, because you need someone holding your hand until you can walk on your own. And so whether I have 97 people that need my attention or 3 people that need my attention, or the person that brought you here, Whitley, Logan, Tylo, Eden, like everyone is the same, we will be there helping you understand how to show up on Instagram, how to go over oils. Like it is one-on-one training. And the other thing that I want to hit home to is we have an independent Boxer. I don't know if you've heard of Boxer. It's like a group chat app. And these Boxers they slap. Like they are so dang good. You're able to ask questions. You're able to get updates before anyone else does about doTERRA BOGOs and things like that. You're able to understand the business side of things just a little bit better. And it's within a group of women that are in the exact same stage of building a business like you are. So you have not just me, not just Tylo, not just Eden, not just Peyton. You have a whole slew of women at your fingertips to cheer you on and help you understand the business, which is incredible. Does anyone want to say anything about the Boxer? Because I think so many of us are on the Boxer and it's such a great community to have. Logan, can I pick on you? I totally see your face. Can I just like pick on you?
Sure.
And can I ask what your experience is with the Boxer and how you've appreciated it?
Oh my gosh. I think it's like incredible. Like, first of all, like, I think this whole community is incredible. Like, I've used doTERRA for a while, but it was like, I don't know, when I started seeing like Eden stuff and like the community part of it, and I told her this when like we had a Zoom call, like the community, like oils are so healing, but community is so healing. And like that was like my drive. I was like, I want to be in this group. Like I want to be a part of this. So I think it's like amazing, but like I just love it. I love all the support. I love that I can text whatever. I just think it's amazing. I love it so much.
We love having you. When I saw you on the BOGO box breakdown, I was like, who is this chick and why do I like, can we be friends forever? Like, let's be best friends.
Yes. And like my husband has been helping me because like I literally just started like did my first reel like a couple weeks ago. I'm like learning all of it.
Mhm.
And he's like explaining everything to me and I'm like, no, but like these are my friends now. Like I have to learn like
Yep.
and I'm like, I don't want to think about those numbers. I was like telling him, and I'm like, he's in sales and stuff. And I'm like, I just love it. I want to sell it. I want to be friends with these people. But like, I don't want to think about that. Like I'm just passionate about it and I want to have fun with it and everything. And he's like, okay, but like you can look at these numbers. And I'm like, no, like get out of here with those numbers. These are my friends. And I'm
Yes.
and I'm just gonna have so much fun with this. So I love it.
And of course, like I'm sure you found it's great to have like some structure and ideas, but when you're doing something that like you really do love, it just like comes out and the enrollments come and like the numbers come or whatever, if you're speaking your truth and breeding that energy.
Yeah, definitely. And like I had I like was enrolling, I was about to enroll a girl the other day and she loves doTERRA and she uses the oils. So I'm telling her all about it and she's like, but it's a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, stop. I'm like, it's not like you're just sharing it because you love them and you're using them. And like, am I supposed to get her oils and like reship them to another state? Like I can't drive them. So it's like, go on and get your own thing. But it was so funny. And then she's like, okay, I want it. Send me the link.
Yeah, I love, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Which kind of takes me to like the expectations of becoming a part of the Outback community. Really, there's very little expectations. Number one, this is a logistical thing. You do have to purchase 100 PB, which is about $100 every single month. If you want to have those resources at your fingertips and you want to get paid out your bonuses from doTERRA, it's actually like a doTERRA roll. It's not even ours. And like being consistent, showing up, like make it to the team huddles every Tuesday. Like it's 15 minutes out of your day. If like you're in nursing school, like, okay, that's like totally understandable. Like we're not here to be dictators, but we hold space for you and we want you to be a part of it. But really those are the only two expectations here within the Outback community is placing a 100 PB order and making it to team huddles. So, if for whoever invited you to this Zoom, please make sure that you reach back out to them or me personally, just so that like they can help you with the next steps, which would probably be like a personal video chat. Like everything is so personalized here that my way of building a doTERRA business looks very, very different from even like Peyton or Chelsea who's on here who like is a midwife. Like it looks very, very different. And we want to make sure that you're getting the information and the training that aligns with you, not with us. So reach out to the person who like brought you to the Zoom and sent you the code and like, let's get on a video chat together. Let's help you understand the next steps. If you don't already have essential oils, like contact them and this isn't their first rodeo. They will help you do all of that stuff. But it's 1:02 now. I'm going to let everyone go. I need to.
Hey, Sid.
Yes.
Real